Let's go to the Tom's River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room our good buddy, former Phillies pitcher, Tommy Greene. Good morning, T.D. Greene.
Good morning, Billy. You're out on the pier giving you a good enough chance to jump off of it, probably.
We just said that's exactly what you were going to say,
Yep.
And lo and behold, you did. Oh, my gosh. Hey, listen, Tommy, we are, like I said, we are in the steel pier in Atlantic City. We are 1,000 yards out over the ocean. So, and I'm looking down straight into the water. And if you don't straighten me out, I'm jumping.
I thought you had already been there by now,
Tommy, I mean, Nick and I here, we are very concerned. This team has a lot of holes, a lot of problems. Is that the way you see it? Yeah. Or are you still of the mentality of it's only June, it's a long season, they got to work out their struggles, their problems, and they'll be okay in September? Are you still of that ideology?
Well, I mean, you go through your ups and downs, Billy. Am I concerned a little bit? Yeah, because you've just lost one of your big guys. I mean, your big dog in the middle of the lineup. So, and come to find out, he's been banged up and dealing with something for a while. So
right.
That's concerning. Now you're hoping that the next man up comes up and helps you do things. You're gonna have some times where you have to weather the storm, and this is the second go round where they run into a storm and they're having to weather it. Now they need to do a better job at weathering it right now.
Right.
And that's my thing. We can't afford to give away ball games when we should win and get a runner in and that type thing. We cannot afford to do that right now. So they got to play better baseball.
Tommy Greene, I know you're old school, and I'm no different than you in that respect. But when you see a guy like Trey Turner making errors in the field and then not getting charged with an error, does that concern you? Like Major League Baseball seems to be getting away from like ball calling, if you will, calling balls and strikes. I mean, the ball can go right through your wickets and they don't even get an error credited to them.
Well, Billy, we can go on that avenue all you want all day, but don't get me started on the way the game's changed. Because it's not the same game that I used to play. So, I mean, it's gotten a lot different, but it's still a great game, baseball. I think the guys have got to remember it's a fun game to play, and you go out every day and try to compete to the best of your ability. And try to, I mean, you can't try not to make the mistakes. You just try to do what you do well,
Right.
and let chips where they may fall. So,
Tommy, let me ask you a question. When you're in the locker room or when you're in a slump like this, when things aren't going your way, you're not playing like fundamentally sound baseball, both offensively and defensively. Like, what's the sentiment in the locker room? I mean, guys aren't dumb. They know that there's pressure on them. But like, how does a good team fight through that? Like, what is the atmosphere like in the locker room?
Well, I mean, obviously it gets a little more serious because they want to play better, and they're not going out there. And you've heard me say this before, trying to fail. They're not trying to make errors. They're not trying to do that. So, my thing is, I look back in the way teams I played on and the way I approach things was when you're struggling, you're trying to go back and find positives that you're doing and the work that you're putting in, to carry that forward to the next day so you can have a good day today. You don't look too far ahead. You can't look ahead. You got to deal with the day first. Each at bat, each batter type thing, and execute. So as far as a pitcher's concerned, but as a player, you got to go out there and let your reactions take place, man. They're there for a reason. They're good ball players.
Yep.
Tommy, it's Nick. I got to ask you regarding center field. I mean, and the outfield in general. There's reports that the Phillies are really going to go after a center fielder. Would it matter if they go after a corner outfielder or a center fielder? Because both of those seem to be holes on this team that they're not getting a ton of production out of.
Well, you got to have somebody in the center field that can cover. And, I mean, you got to be solid up the middle. So, I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, it seems like, we got to cut out the little mistakes out there. That it can cost you runs and stuff like that. Obviously, both guys can play defense out there. It just seems like every little thing happens, and they get called on it. But, we'd love to have a Gold Glove at center fielder and a center fielder that hits 300 to hit 30 home runs. You know, I mean, those are just not out there every day. So you got to compromise a little bit on what you get, and you get a chance. You're hoping one of these guys get hot and ticks up here shortly and go. Now, if something comes available out there, they might be able to get. Hey, hands down, go get it. You know, and that's just the nature of the game. You know, that's the business side of it. So, I mean, you got to be prepared. No matter how attached some people are to the players, sometimes that's just the business side of it.
We're talking with Tommy Greene, former Phillies pitcher. Every Sunday we go on the mound with Tommy, brought to you by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, 21st and Asbury Avenue. Tommy, it's June 8th, and when the dog days of summer, like, you should have pretty much know exactly, you know, what direction your ball club's going to go. Once things are settled down, you think this team they just got to be more consistent, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game. It's consistency. The talent's there. You know, they proved it, and we've been in the postseason and made it to the World Series with this core group. Now it's all about staying healthy and getting on a roll at the right time, and hopefully you're not too far behind or what. And maybe we get on a roll, we can get back ahead. So I mean, that's just the game the way it is. It's not that easy of a game. Hey, on paper, you got it on paper. You're saying they're supposed to be doing this. You know, that's not the way it works. You know, you got to play the games. So
yeah, but Tommy, we talked about, like, everybody looks at their payroll, the fourth highest payroll in the league, and they're not playing up to their capability, especially with the consistency. But as a former player, I guess you don't really put too much stock in that, or do you?
Well, I mean, repeat that again, Billy. I'm driving. I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When the Phillies have the fourth highest payroll in baseball, when they're not playing up to their capabilities, as a former player, do you even does that register with you? Or you're not even thinking about the money part of it?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I know. You got to kind of put it out. But I thought about it. Hey, I'm getting paid good money. It's not that we don't put forth the effort, or the guys don't put forth the effort. It's great to have that money. You know, they're comfortable and they're secure. That should give you all the reason in the world to go out there and say, hey, I'm going to work hard for it. I'm going to show these guys I'm worth it every day. And that's the mentality I think all of them take. I know I did. You know, I didn't make the money they made, but you know, but what money I did. I mean, you take pride in yourself, you know, and do that. So the money factor doesn't come in. If anything, it can be a little hindrance because some people get paid that amount of money and they're like, because that's all they're going to hear from people, you know, from the fans and from the radio people and stuff like that. Well, you get paid this amount of money, he ain't doing nothing, or he ain't living up to it. Yeah. And
one thing the fans in Philadelphia, they want to see you put forth 110%. They want you to look like you care on the field. That you're more, that the players are more upset, and pissed off with the way that things are going than the fans. You know what I mean? That's all Philadelphia fans want.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're going there, but you can't. It comes down to the adage: you can't get too high, you can't get too low. You can show some emotion, but you don't want to be radical about it. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't. You gotta. It's the old adage: you can't let people see you sweat. You know what I mean? No matter how bad it goes, you got to exude that confidence that you're going to be better than you are, and I'm better than I'm playing. You know, that type of thing. And I'm going to work at it, and I'm going to be there. Like, there's one thing you can do, and you hit it on the head, is give it 110%. The word is hustle. You hustle all the time, and you work at it. You run out up plays. You make the right throws. If you're not hitting good, you're doing the little things on defense that mean a lot that can save runs. You know, so it's the way the game goes like that. That's the way you need to play it.
Tommy, I want to talk about how the game's changed just in one aspect.
Don't get him started.
I know. I'm going to get him a little bit started, just a little bit, because we were having a conversation about the closer role and how it's changed and evolved. You don't have guys like Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera's anymore. It feels like there's only a couple of those guys. What do you make of how teams use their closer role? Because they have changed the way the closers have been used. They use guys in different situations. What do you make of how the Phillies have used their bullpen with the guys they have remaining as of right now?
Well, I mean, every team's different and what goes on and what's happened. It was a huge thing when we lost Alvarado. You know, that arm out of the bullpen, and then, you know, that's where I'm upset at a little bit with him, you know. But, you know, it's said and done now. Now it's the next man up's got to come up and do, you know, and people got to take the bulls by the horn and take a step forward. You know, right now we seem to be treading water a little bit, you know, with that, you know. Or, you know, so, but I'd love to have that one solid closer, you know, that you can count on, that's going to be the thing. They're searching and finding and trying to find a guy that can do that. And right now, Romano's he's the guy. You know, he's had the experience. He's done it, but he seems to be scuffling right now, you know, on the consistency side of things. I mean, but the closer role, I mean, some teams have it. They got the old school way to do it because they got that guy. It's more or less a shutdown guy. Right now, we don't have the shutdown guy, you know, unless something changes. And hey, we'd love to have that guy. And if you can go out and find him, I'd love to have him. You know?
Yeah, but the only thing is about like 6 other teams looking for the exact same things we're looking for.
Well, I know it seems like, and it comes down, it's going to cost you, you know, to get somebody like the kid from the A's. Everybody'd love to have that guy.
Yeah, but he's not even playing well this year. He's not Mason.
He's struggling a little bit
this year. But hey, isn't the game a beautiful thing? You know?
It's a beautiful thing, Tommy.
The baseball god's got a strange way of humbling you and keeping you honest. But the talent is there, you know. Adversity is a good thing sometimes, to let you know what you're made of, you know. And then once you get out of that, you know you can get out of anything. You know you can play. So that's just another step in the confidence ladder, you know, the confidence ladder that you're climbing, you know. So I mean, all these guys are going through it.
All right, Tommy, today we got Sanchez against Skeens. The Phillies got their work cut out for him today. But Sanchez is 5-1 with a 3.15 ERA. Skeens, he's 4-6, but you can't look at his record because he's playing with the Pirates. But his ERA is 2.05, so, you know, we don't want to see the Phillies get swept by the Pirates. What?
He doesn't give up much. Yeah. He's going to challenge you he's going to compete, you know, every time, and it's going to be a tough hombre to deal with out there. So we got to take advantage, you know, and try to squeak out more than 2 runs to beat him. So that's going to be interesting.
All right, Tommy Greene, as always, we appreciate you and your insight. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Let's go Phillies, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
You got it, pal.
There he is, Tommy Greene, on the Tom Zura Volkswagen Sports Hotline. Of course, On the Mound is brought to you by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, 21st and Asbury Avenue.